Hi, friends, it's Salt. If you're new here, this channel is all about salt. Salt is the alchemical element of transformation. Salt cleanses, it heals, and it transmutes energy just like you do. This channel finds the rare archetypes who move through life differently. So if you found this, I'm really honored to have you and really just be one of the few who gets to see and reflect you properly. Okay, some quick housekeeping things. I got an interesting comment a few days ago, and I wouldn't normally dedicate intro space to it, but this comment stuck with me because it made me realize something. Basically, the comment said to not combine spirituality with technology, as I was implying in my reading, as this person believed that they should not coexist together. It made me realize after reading this, and it stuck with me, is that there are people who will not be open to the way in which I challenge their beliefs through my readings. And I just want to say that my channel is very radical and abstract in nature. It's going to combine very odd things that you maybe wouldn't think of. But that's why I'm here, is I'm here and I'm being called to help you through this discomfort. So I just wanted to make that very clear. And I also want to say that technology can very much coexist with spirituality. And in fact, can help simplify a lot of complexities of emotional understanding if you allow it. Second, really quick thing is no, I do not offer personal readings. My purpose here is to help the collective for free and not to exploit for profit. So just wanted to touch on those. Okay, now after getting those out of the way, the message today for this collective, it might be called to those who are trying to redirect or rechannel obsession. There is a lot of self help about this topic in particular because it's very common. Now, there's a lot of terms for this. We call this anxious attach, we call this limerence, OCD. There's a lot of terminology that's kind of being thrown out there to understand it. I think that there is a lot of cerebral understanding with this topic, but I think something that's not touched is the spiritual or emotional side of why obsession really happens. And I'm being called to kind of guide you through that with this reading. Another thing that my guys are kind of sharing with me today is to not share the cards and symbolism I get in this reading. It seems clear to me that this might distract you or cause a misinterpretation, or at least that's what I'm being shown. So this is just for this reading. I don't think others will be like this. This is kind of an odd one. So bear with me on that. What's coming through first is a focus on astrological timelines. There has been something since May of this year that's been kind of compounding. We've been having a progressive dominance that's been building in the sign of Cancer, aligning with particular planets. Today, I believe we have almost four. I don't quote me on the exact number. It might be five, but 4 or 5 planets with heavy cancerian energy that's really hitting its peak today. So what I'm being shown from this is that there's been a shift in those who are listening to me, possibly since that timeline of May or even longer. It just could be the theme of cancerian energy. But basically, the people here are in an energy of deeply protecting their inner world and embodying this Cancer-like astrology energy. Something to note is that this energy will ease up as more signs move past Cancer into Leo in the upcoming months. But this Cancerian energy is very important, and it will be kind of the theme of this reading. I think it will be highly involved in as we tackle these larger understandings of obsession and the spiritual reason behind it. So there is a spiritual reason. Let's talk about why we obsess, why we check, why we recheck, why we search for this person or whatever it is we are obsessing about in our lives in every way. For example, just to give a couple, this could show up in refreshing our social media, hoping and praying they saw what we just shared. It could show up in thoughts about a situation, like we want to be seen desperately by this person, trying to orchestrate situations where this person will see us in this way. The theme here is that we're muling over thoughts. We are continuously thinking in a way to try to control the situation of the circumstance. What I want to highlight here, though, is what this really boils down to in simple terms is this is a desire to be seen. This is an obsession not about the person or whatever the object of our obsession is. This is about not having enough moments in our lives where we were truly seen for who we are and didn't have to reach for it. This is a huge reason for me creating this channel is that I want to be able to show this collective that I see you fully, as infrequent as it may be, or as these readings are. This seeing is very important for your spiritual health, especially those listening to me today. Coming back to this cancerian energy and protecting your inner space over the last couple of months, you are now being called to intentionally create moments of being seen and visual to people that you have not been doing in these last couple of months, or however long you've been feeling this cancerian shift in the way you've approached things. There's no real timeline here. It's just however long you've been feeling like you have been, hermiting away from people or guarding that inner self. This means, my guides are saying, this means showing yourself and coming out of that protection space, whether it be now, immediately, or in a few months as this bold Leo energy starts to replace that space. That's your kind of like natural next step, is to take some steps with it. They don't have to be dramatic. They don't have to be crazy. They can be baby steps, but you are being called to come out of that space as slow or as comfortable as it feels. Okay, now let's talk about how to heal obsession, because I know whoever is resonating with this just wants answers. I'm feeling that very strongly, is that this is a collective that really just feels like they've never gotten a direct answer for this. They don't feel they understand the connection. You all are very highly intuitive and self-aware individuals. And you work on yourselves with such passion and force that it really doesn't make sense as to why you can't understand your feelings in this way. I want to start by saying I will give you one answer, but I also want to preface that by saying the answer is there is no one answer, and there are multiple parts of healing this wound of not being seen properly by others. But if you just want one sentence for it, what heals this is enough moments of being seen and deeply met without having to reach for it. Those are the simple words for this. So it's important to recognize when you keep reaching for this person, it's a reactionary compulsion. Like, you haven't ever had the space to be met where you are. You've always had to learn that you've had to reach out to find that meeting, whether it be whole meeting or like a fraction of meeting. You've just been taught through experiences that you have to reach for it. So there are 3 parts to healing that Spirit wants me to kind of go over with you. The first one I've been talking about in certain readings I've been channeling for this collective. This collective feels very similar to other readings I've done. So I do want to say there is a connection. But the first part that I'm being shown is limiting overexposure to the situations that cause you to reach. This could be like media. This could be your phone. This could be things where you feel like you're reaching out to be seen. Limiting that exposure. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be, completely disciplined. You're just being aware. That's the first step. The second step is slowly witnessing the urge when you want to be seen, calling it out, and just slowly not obeying it. And again, we're not talking about perfection here. We are talking about simply acknowledging that what it is. Like, if you want to research this person, if you want to be seen by someone in social media, you're feeling that obsession rise. You're just witnessing it. The third part is, and this is the most important, but it's also, these are all done together. There's no separateness that makes healing possible. So the third is keep moving towards relationships that don't make you have to reach. These do not have to be romantic. These could be platonic. These could be online, but these are people where you don't have to reach for them to see you, they just see you. So keep seeking those. If they don't exist right now, don't worry, they're coming for you. I very much sense that. But your job right now is to clear the space so they can come in. And that's the only thing that you should be focused on, is just making sure you're acknowledging and witnessing these behaviors and limiting exposure as best you can. Perfection is not necessary. The last thing of this reading is I'm sensing a lot of like vertex energy. Now, this is a fated placement in your birth chart. Perhaps you could research it. It might be important to understand, when you have a vertex conjunction or when you have some sort of alignment, you can put a date on that. There is timelines for when that alignment will happen. It is feeling important to me to bring up your vertex in this reading. But what I'm sensing is there are fated encounters and connections that are coming in for you. So don't worry about feeling overwhelmed by finding these connections that see you. They will just come to you naturally. It's a matter of just clearing the space for them. So I'm being called to just very clearly tell you, you don't have to seek these people out. They will find you and they will see you. So there's no need to extend in that way. Just be prepared for when they come. This last part is, I know some of you already instinctively know this, but keep leaving comments. Comments really help me channel more efficiently. The comments themselves don't have to be anything personal. It doesn't have to be anything specific. Although I love reading either or, it's really just an energetic nudge so I can intuitively channel for you. It helps me align and channel more efficiently. So I look forward to each and every one, and I read them always. And I'm so happy you're all here with me. So cheers, friends.